Willie, come on.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's see. I think they're still setting up the conference room at Schwab, so
No problem.
it might take a little bit of, well, we actually start our meeting 10 after the hour for
Yeah.
the people who are commuting for their lunch times.
I was just checking on Cynthia. Unfortunately, she can't join us. She has a doctor's appointment and she's
Oh.
out there waiting for RTC. So I
Okay.
took a look to see what the driveway looked like.
Yeah, I heard you guys got pounded with snow.
Yeah, we got quite a bit. Oof.
Let me see. And hopefully,
Are there
okay.
any small roles open today?
There might be. Let me see. I
Okay.
just have to reply to a member who's confused what in-person room to be in.
Actually, I'd like to find out how to get a hold of whoever's in charge of that room. Because we'd like to find out if we can use it for Truckee Meadows. Wednesday mornings at 7 a.m. I don't know if they open that early.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think so. Oh, good. Omega is joining, so she was able to get in.
Welcome.
Let's see. Hold on.
Pamela, I don't know if you can go find her. She's trying to find the room. So
Oh, yeah, there's nobody else here. Let me
I
go.
think she probably went to the big room, so I just emailed her and told her to go to the smaller room.
Let's see. I see Rick outside. Maybe she'll find Rick. Let me-
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully she's reading her email on her phone.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'm trying to get set up here. So we're in the smaller conference room. So I'm assuming that we probably don't need the microphone because my MacBook seems pretty good, especially for anything
Yeah.
close like this. So
Yeah,
Bill, can you hear her okay?
we can
Omega?
hear you just fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's loud and clear on my end, so I think we're good there.
okay, yeah, I'm just trying to get everything set up for see Rick and Pam. See Rick and Pam. So
Let's
everybody's
see.
still filing in.
I hope that our so today, Bill, we have agreed to let a Schwab consultant talk for a little bit about the offerings that they have. Oh, good, Pam found it. All right. So he's going to talk as a guest. He's not a member, but
Yeah.
it's going to be very short. I think we're planning on evaluating it like a speech just to give him the Toastmasters experience. But I think his name is Chad. So if he doesn't chicken out, he's going to
Okay.
be.
So maybe I can ask him about the possibility.
Yeah, and I'm
Having
actually
another
I'm looking up the
Toastmaster.
contact person. I think her name is Michaela, who I booked the room with.
Okay,
I can shoot
Well,
that to you
If nothing else, he should know how
via
early they
email.
open.
Pam and make it the president.
Michaela Stoltz.
Yeah.
I'm Omega. Hi.
Okay.
Welcome. I want to try to have a,
Maybe you can email me that
Yeah, I'm
information.
emailing it to you right now before I forget.
Oh, the Wonder Twins. You gonna activate powers now? Here comes Steve.
So we don't have.
what's the stuff? Did you, inquire on? Okay.
Hold on, somebody's not muted.
Here's Christy.
How are you doing, Gina?
I'm good.
Is that, I think that's supposed to be for Schwab.
Well, your voice sounds good. For
How-
Yeah,
feeling a
today's
little-
my first day testing negative.
Yay!
Uh,
That's great. Oh, let me rename myself.
And so.
Are you feeling better? Like, do you have any residual symptoms?
I'm more nasally and more tired
Ah,
than I would like to be, but I feel so much better than I did. Hey Pam, how are you?
Good, how are you? Well,
We were gonna use you as one.
Better. Thankfully better.
Is that, is it okay if I start or do you have a certain time?
We'll have a format, and we'll introduce you.
Okay,
Just follow our cue.
sounds good.
Did you time it?
Oh, no, I was just seeing what time did you get?
No, I mean, in terms of how long your speech might be.
Oh, no, I think it was 50.
We gotta extend that at least more.
I mean, I could go more in depth. So I can make it 4 minutes. That's
Yeah,
that's better.
we can do that and then we'll evaluate.
Okay.
Don't be nervous. We're harmless.
This is a low risk way of doing it.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds good.
And then we got Scott. And then
Hi Omega.
Hi.
Do I need to get my laptop going or do you think 2 is enough in the small room? Okay, I'm gonna turn
So-
it off.
This is where the speaker will be. And then everybody else online can see.
Is there somewhere we
Can
can
you see
pop
the-
that up?
You know, let me get my phone.
Get some books?
To prop up this thing.
Yeah.
Hi, Scott. I'm Gina. I'm the one who's been texting you reminders.
Thanks for the reminder. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Trying to make sure that we're fully hybrid, so we get the same experience with the people that are online.
Yeah, so far there's 3 of us online.
To have a little box, because you want to have this.
Yeah, our lectern is in the closet in the bigger classroom.
Maybe I can squeeze through without.
Feel like this hybrid is good practice for the new world we live in.
it's a challenge to be able to speak to a table and speak to a screen.
Yeah.
I'm really still doing
Uh-huh.
that.
Mhm.
This,
On the plus side, you could wear slippers instead of shoes if you're on Zoom.
this is the way the area and division contest will be. I will be online for the area contest.
Wow.
We're having all 3 together. One of the other area directors will be there in person. And our division director, Linda, might be there in person too. But we're still trying to see if we got the room.
That way. Somewhat better. Trying to make it so everybody can be seen and you're not, the screen's not in a funny angle.
Yeah, I think it's easier to give a speech on Zoom, but it's harder to be engaging.
Well, especially if you're using PowerPoint, it's hard for them to see your gestures, etc.
Mhm.
It's easier if you stand up. Of course, in my case, that doesn't work too good because I'd end up on the floor. I'm a double amputee. I don't do a lot of standing anymore.
So I tried to
Well,
come.
Nicole, one of our
Yeah.
members, I just sent her the access
Okay.
details. She normally shows up. She's blind. She's been blind since she was 3 months old, as a baby. And she still does Toastmasters. It doesn't stop her.
Sure, well,
Prior to the internet, I ran what's called the bulletin board system. And one of my system operators was blind. And
Ah.
she ended up getting married through our BBS. She met some.
Oh.
Password?
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, 8650.
8650.
Yeah.
12. Should we go ahead and start?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's officially start. Welcome, everyone. To the Washoe Zephyrs Toastmasters meeting. I am Omega Brown. I am the president of the Washoe Zephyrs Toastmasters. And do we have a Toastmaster? Oh, hold on. Our Toastmaster.
I'm the Toastmaster? Let's do the pledge of allegiance, I guess.
Yes, okay.
Do we have a late arrival?
Yeah, Lynn's coming. She's walking in as we speak. Hi, Lynn. Found you. Yeah, I thought we started the meeting and I was like, wait a minute, we don't have a Toastmaster. Here we are. All right, so we usually open our meeting with the pledge of allegiance, so we can stand and if there's a flag. There's no flag, we face.
East.
So don't be in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the
Flag.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And with that, without further ado, I will turn the meeting over to our Toastmaster. Okay. Ms. Lynn Thompson.
Thanks, Omega. Hi, everyone. We have some new faces.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Let's find out who you are. Go ahead.
Oh, so my name, my name is Chad Mortimer. I'm the investment consultant here in the Reno office for our Charles Schwab branch. Yes, yes, the one and only. Yes.
Thank you so much. And you are going to give a short speech today, okay?
Yes.
Excellent. And Christy, we have Christy, is Christy here?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Christy, good, you're there on Zoom. So I just want to make sure that we've got an evaluator for you. Rick, I had as evaluator one,
Yeah.
but we did chat,
Someone prepared for that.
that's. That's Toastmasters. And our other guest here.
Oh, yeah. So my name is Scott Jager. I just heard about Toastmasters recently, and so I'm trying to find a group because I'm pretty terrible at public speaking. So I went to one, which is supposed to be the oldest Toastmaster group in Reno. And they meet at Denny's, and I'm just not a fan of Denny's, so I couldn't do that. Wednesday. So I'm trying this one.
Great.
Yeah.
Welcome. Are you part of Charles Schwab?
I'm not, am I supposed to be?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, Charles Schwab has just been so generous to let us use the conference,
Oh, yeah.
this one and the other ones. Well, good, we're glad that you found out about us. How did you find out about us?
I was just looking for, I just Googled it and I heard that Toastmaster might be a good way to work online with speaking problem. There's like 20 plus Toastmaster groups in Reno.
There
So
are.
It's a thing, I guess, out here.
Toastmasters is really good.
Yeah.
You see the big international,
What's the internet?
well, the page, it's
Oh.
Toastmasters International, and it's an
Yeah.
international organization. So is everyone.
Yeah.
Stand in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here.
There you go.
All right, so the first thing that we do after our president opens our meeting is the Toastmaster, then we make sure that we have our assigned roles.
Wait.
We,
Bill's, well, we have another guest, Wild Bill.
oh, wow, Bill. Hi, Bill. Oh, I can't hear you, so let's.
Helps if I unmute myself. I was coughing, so I muted myself. I'm your area director. I'm doing a club visit. I also have information about your area contest. Right now it's scheduled for March 18th at 10 a.m. and tentatively going to be at UNR if Linda ever hears back from them. And the division contest is going to be on April 1st. I understand you're going to be selecting. You can select up to 2 people for each for the area contest. And for the evaluation contest. For the area contest, you have, or excuse me, for the international contest, you have to have been completed level 2 and pathways to qualify, or qualify under the old system. For the evaluation contest, no qualifications needed other than being a member in good standing of a club in good standing. And you're a club in good standing. So any of your members in good standing can do it. And I would encourage the newest members to do it just for the experience. Doesn't matter if you win or not. It's going to be a great experience for you. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Bill. All right, and then we have, I want to make sure I know who we have. I assume we've got Gina. Hi, Gina, how are you? And Christy, I hope you're feeling better. Yeah.
I'm good. Nicole just got into, that's you, Nicole, right?
Oh, Nicole is here. Hi, Nicole. All right, so Nicole, let's start with you. We have you assigned with a positive mental attitude for today. Are you ready for that?
I think she might be muted. I'm assuming.
It doesn't show mute on her box.
Yeah, I don't, well, she might be muted on her phone.
Let's go on through a few other roles we have assigned and we'll come back to Nicole. How's that?
Madam Toastmaster, if she's not able to do PMA, I would be glad to do one for you.
Well, that would be very nice, Bill.
You want me to do it now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to share screen with a PowerPoint.
Jeez.
Yeah, fancy, if I can get it to work. There we go. 8 positive quotes. These are from people who are a lot smarter than I am. You can, you should, and if you're brave enough to start, you will. That's from Stephen King, the author. People with humility don't think less of themselves. They just think about themselves less. That's from Dr. Norman Vincent Peale.
Good one.
Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. Anytime you're having a bad thing, like suffering from COVID and just having your first negative, remember the sun will rise. Victor Hugo. Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. That's from Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing. That's way back from Abraham Lincoln. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So always think you can. That's from Henry Ford. I'm an optimist. It does not seem to be much use being anything else. That was from Winston Churchill, who was optimistic despite being outnumbered by the Germans. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. That's Confucius. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bill. Excellent. All right, and other assignments for today. Pam, do we have you for table topic?
Yes.
Excellent. We're not ready for you yet. Do you have a show?
I do.
Yay, all right, time for the show.
Can you come up there or?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, Toastmasters and other guests. I was chosen to do the jokes today, so you'll either laugh or you'll learn. These are all one-liners. What did the icy rose say to the car? Want to go for a spin? Why did the bear keep getting fired? He always disappeared in the winter. Where does a snowman get the weather report? The winter news. You need a word for today. Anybody have a word? Christy, do you have a word?
Give me 1 minute, I'll get one.
Well, all right. If you'd like to, I do have one.
Go for it.
I just put a little note by you thinking that you might have a word. My word for today is scramble, because it seems that all I'm doing recently is scrambling. And scramble is a word that can be used in several ways. What we like you to do is during our table topics, you're going to try to use the word scramble. Right? Everybody's going to use the word scramble at least once, and if you forget in table topics, try to use it at some other time during the work. What else do we need? We need a timer and educational minute. Gina, are you our timer?
Yes, I am the timer. And for our guests, I have a Toastmasters app. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe my background I'll have to turn off.
Yes.
But on the 4 table topics, if you're not familiar with table topics, it is the impromptu speaking portion of our meeting. So basically, we have random speakers who get called on with topics, and the table topics master is the person who comes up with the topics. And then I think, if I remember correctly, table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. And I
Correct.
think you qualify 30 seconds, is it? Or do you have to be at a minute? Do you remember?
1 minute.
1 minute to qualify. So the green light means you qualified. Then you've got 30 seconds and you'll get yellow. And then red turns up at 2 minutes. And then you have 30 seconds to wrap up before you've pretty much been cut off with your time. You can keep going. You just have been disqualified for your time. And then with speeches, we also have various durations, usually icebreakers, which are the first speech that you give in Toastmasters. That's 4 to 6 minutes. So it depends what length the speech is.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, we also had you for educational minute, but that was educational.
Okay, I'll add to that. So educational minute, if you go to toastmasters.org, after you've become a member, there's an excellent curriculum that you can sign up for called Pathways. And it's online, so you can actually take a survey, and there's several different paths that you can choose from. So depending on the way you answer that survey, the website will automatically suggest maybe 2 to 3 paths that you can go down. For example, I'm using, I think, a coaching path. So a lot of those assignments and speech projects have to do with coaching. I also have an innovative thinking one. So I have different assignments in that. So it kind of tailors based on your interest what you work on, and we're not forcing you to do pathways, but it does help us improve our speaking skills when we're following the curriculum. Fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Gina. Appreciate it. Rearranging this one. All right, and our general evaluator today is Christine. Thank you. When it's your turn to speak, you can explain what the role of general evaluator is. But also, since we have two speakers today, we have Chad and Rick is evaluating Chad and Omega.
You know his speech?
Are you going to do your speech?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
I didn't
and
know.
Omega is going to speak. Christy, can you evaluate Omega for us today?
Wait, can you repeat that? What?
We have Rick, we weren't certain that we had two speakers today, but we do, but we need one more evaluator. And Rick is going to evaluate Chad. Can you evaluate Omega for us?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, good. So maybe, Omega, can you give Christy the title of your speech?
It's debugging the coding interview.
Debugging the coding interview,
Yes.
and how long is your speech?
Oh, I don't know, 5 to 7?
5 to 7?
Do it.
All right, Chad, do you have a title to your speech?
Just Charles Schwab.
Charles
Like,
Schwab.
yeah.
Come up with something.
Oh, owning your
You can
tomorrow.
decide.
How about
That's
that?
better, that's better. Owning your thing.
I'll go with owning your tomorrow. I don't, I can make it 3 to 4 minutes.
Whatever you.
Try to make it minimum 3.5. Yeah,
And.
but you qualify 3.5.
Okay,
Huge. Oh, will be a nice. For today, whatever.
okay,
whatever
yeah.
Works, whatever your phone. We're
So-
just happy.
sounds good.
Right, so now, at this point, we have all of our roles assigned. Did I miss anything? Law counter for Marion.
Oh.
Who's doing that?
I'm supposed to be doing that.
Chrissy, I've got you awfully busy with general evaluator and individual
Let's
evaluator.
make Pam do it. Let me take pause, listen to it.
That's okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
shine, sure. Yeah.
Oh, you're doing table talks.
Yeah.
I can
Can you get it anywhere?
do it.
That would be great. All right. So next, we move to our impromptu part of the meeting, which is called table topics. And Gina already gave us the timing, which is very brief. This is off the cuff, and our topics master today is Pamela Fox. Welcome, Pamela, and you will give us our topics for today. Also, do you prefer Pam or Pamela? Pam is fine. Pam is fine. We do have 2 speeches, and I'm thinking maybe 3.
Do 5. I don't.
5.
I don't.
We.
Yeah, let's get the guests to see how it works. And then you can, if you want to participate. you can have you see how it works. Sound good? Well, he's doing a speech, so let's talk about,
What is it?
let him look at it and then we'll ask.
So the table topics for today are along the theme of winter. And the first person I'm going to call on is Jan. And Jan, what is your favorite winter vacation destination and why?
Can you repeat that? I couldn't quite hear.
Sure. What is your favorite winter vacation destination and why?
Ah. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. We got guests today, yay! Maybe the snow got you coming to Toastmasters, and it would help if I actually time myself. Here you see it. All right, my favorite winter venue, I would suppose, for winter activities, I would say is somewhere on the way to Donner Lake. There is a very flat area where you can go sledding. And when I lived in the area, not in Reno, in that area, instead of in New Mexico where I am now, I went sledding, and I think it had been probably close to 20 years since I had been sledding at the time that I found that location. And I wish I really knew what it was called, but it's kind of just along the road. It's a nice flat place. It was so fun. I got very cold, but it is, I would, in my opinion, much better than skiing, because when I'm skiing, I have to scramble so much because I'm falling more than I am skiing. I am not like Rick, who is a proficient skier. So I prefer sledding because I really don't have to have any skills for that. Fellow Toastmasters.
Lynn, would you participate in a polar bear swimming event? Why or why not?
Come on up, we gotta see you.
Thank you, Madam Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and our most welcome guest today. Would I participate in a polar bear swim? I probably would, and I know I probably really regret it when I dive in. And then, for those of us who have been swimming in Lake Tahoe, you know, once you dive in and you shake off that first shock to your body, it feels pretty good. And you're really proud of yourself because you're in the water in Tahoe. And recently, I have to say, everybody is claiming that the temperature of Lake Tahoe has not changed, but I've been swimming in Lake Tahoe since I was a little girl. And to me, it seems like it is getting warmer, especially at the surface. And it's easier and easier to stay in the water now. So I think that I probably would participate in a polar bear swim, which would be in Pennsylvania water. I know they do it in San Francisco, which is crazy. I don't think I would do it there. But I know that the young people up in Tahoe, when the sun came out the other day, they were going out here. And I'm gonna wait until spring, if that qualifies. That I'm talking sense.
Good.
Want to dive?
Sure. Why not?
So the next one is, did you ever have a chance to make a snowman? If so, what was your best one? And if not, share something fun that you like to do outside.
You want me to come up here? Yep.
How much time do we have?
1 minute.
1 minute?
A minute to qualify.
A minute.
If I go over a minute, am I difficult?
No, you go till all the way till 2.5. If you're over 2.5, you just.
So snowman. So I have unusually, I have 7 brothers, 5 sisters. Wow. And my parents are a little crazy, but we had this idea that they would raise us out in the middle of nowhere. Anyways, I grew up on 7 acres out in the middle of nowhere. And we were homeschooled, so snow days, best days, so we actually do. So we always spent, every snow day outside all of it. And we had a huge hill that made it impossible to park back up the hill. So once you went down, you were stuck at the bottom for the rest until it melted, right? So we would make snowmen, we would try to make the biggest one. And I don't know about best snowman, I don't know how we evaluate that, but yeah, those were some of our favorite things growing up. So
Good job.
Yeah.
That concludes our time, so that everybody has time for the 2 speeches. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next will be our prepared speech part of the meeting. And the format of that is the evaluator will introduce our speaker. Rick, would you go ahead and introduce Chad and his speech?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Chad is going to be doing a speech that is 4 minutes. You're gonna have goals. I'm gonna give you goals today, which is let's have a basic introduction, body, conclusion. Sounds like you're doing some kind of sales pitch, so make sure you do that conclusion, calling at, all organized. I want you to make eye contact with people in the room and on the screen, because people are looking at, and a lot of people who are live forget about that. So there's a little camera there for your best shot, and let's see it.
Awesome, will do.
Help me welcome Chad Mortimer, owning your tomorrow. Right?
Yes,
Owning your tomorrow.
owning your tomorrow.
Chad Mortimer. You're talking about.
All right, you guys, thank you everybody for having me join with you guys today. Appreciate you all. Taking the time to listen to me give my owning your tomorrow speech. Owning your tomorrow is the motto we have here for the Charles Schwab. What we do is general investing, retirement planning. We have a platform that allows you to essentially get an idea for where you're at and where you'd like to go. What we do as consultants, which is within my role here at Schwab, is we need to get an idea for who you are as a person, who you are as an investor, what your goals look like, and ultimately help you get there via investing, tax planning, trust and estate creation, anything that might entail. We are a discount brokerage firm, so what that means is we have a lot of the same capabilities ultimately any investment firm you might see. And with that being said, we keep the client focus in mind at all times. We like to make sure that there's there's always something tracking for you, and that you're getting the best experience possible. Along with that, on our website, we've got a handful of tools where you can follow along with that. We become clients who tend to, they like to not worry so much about what their financial situation looks like. They want to kind of set it, forget it. We can accommodate those clients as well as the clients who like to have a hand in it. They like to be sure that they are, following along with the market, following along with their portfolios, because in the end, when it comes to retirement, we don't want your retirement to be a scramble. We don't want it to be a mess and asking a lot of questions. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you through that process from beginning to end. That is kind of where Charles Schwab got that motto of owning your tomorrow. We want you to control it, or control the outcomes that you are able to control, and ultimately get to where you want to be comfortably, and just be the best that you can be as an investor and for your family in general. So in conclusion, again, I'm the investment consultant here in the Reno Ranch. Always happy to answer any of your questions. I would ask that you guys, consider what you have within your finances holistically, but where you are currently, where you're going, what you have set. Just make sure you're always holding yourself accountable with that, and paying attention, because there's a lot we can do for you here, and it all starts with just asking yourself those questions. That will wrap up my speech for you guys today. Appreciate you listening.
Thank you, Jen.
Trying to warm up my hand.
No, it's okay. I know it's always cold in here. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Omega. And Christy, you're evaluating Omega today. Would you like to introduce Omega for us?
I would love to introduce Omega, our fearless president. And today she is providing a speech to us. And I just want to clarify this because the microphone is kind of away from the podium. So I hear Rick better than I hear the speakers. I don't know if Gina, you're having the same thing, but debugging the coding interview, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. Okay. Help me welcome Omega Zarino, debugging the coding interview. Omega Zarino, debugging the coding interview for 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, everyone. I got lazy on setting up the external mic because I figured we're in a smaller room, then my voice should echo, and so I'll speak up a little louder so you can hear me. So my name is Omega Serrano, and I am a software engineer. You couldn't tell, that's why I have 2 laptops, and I have 2 more at home. I collect these things. So I started working as a software engineer at Valley Gaming Systems back in 2006. And I had been there for 14 years. I practically grew up there. That was my very first job. So here we are. And just looking back at everything, I had a hard time leaving that nest because I would crash and burn every time when I would do coding. So today I'm kind of standing up here ranting about how much I hate coding interviews. So the reason why I hate them so bad is because, number one, you don't really get a good representation of what the job is during the coding interview. They don't really simulate what you're going to be doing. And then 2, they are unnecessarily hard. And 3, most of the time you don't really get to access to the tools that you would normally do, so you can't show your interviewer how you would do your job. And let me expand on that a little bit. Coding interviews are not usually representative of the job that you're going to do, because you're interviewing in front of a panel, right? And so if I say, hey, Chad, I need you to stand up and tell me how to write a program that a public can go with the clock hands at any given time. And you can probably do, most people can do that. That's an easy question to answer, but you're a software engineer, and most software engineers are introverted. So not very many of them will stand up here and talk to you about how they're going to write the program, let alone write the code in front of them. So it's very nerve-wracking, and I think it's very hard for an interviewer to actually rate somebody based on how they answer questions like that. And another reason why I don't like coding interviews is because they are unnecessarily hard. If you think about where the coding interviews came from, it came from Google. And Google interviews are notoriously hard. People have written books and books about how to pass these stupid coding interviews. And it's a great tool for companies like Google and like Facebook who are huge. And they need to read through thousands and thousands of applications. They only want to hire the best. It's a great tool for them to use. But most people that hire software engineers are small companies. And they might lose the opportunity to find a great candidate because they're scared of code reviews. And I don't ever bother applying for Google or Facebook or Amazon or any of those companies. I'll tell you right now, I cannot pass those two coding interviews. And another reason why that makes it so hard is that they put you in an environment that you don't have the tools that you need to write your code. So software engineers, they have what they call IDEs, or integrated developer environments. They're programs that help you write your code, and they do things like tell you if you can import keywords, and they color code the keywords as you type, and they auto indent everything. The worst case is during coding interview, you're going to write code on a word processor, and nobody writes code on Microsoft Word or Notepad. It's just silly. And you might find a crazy Linux guy that does stuff all in the VI editor, but most people today, we have tools that we use to make our job easier. And one of those tools, the most important tool that a software engineer uses, and it's Google. Because spoiler alert, we don't know everything. Even if you can find the software engineer who thinks he knows everything, he's the principal engineer, architect, everything, he still Google stuff. Because the answers are there, but it takes your experience and your knowledge, and you have to know what code to copy and paste and how to modify that code to put it into the application that you're writing. So I feel like that's something invaluable, but during a coding interview, you can't do that because you have somebody that's watching your every keystroke, and they tell you not to use Google. And that's just not practical, because in your everyday job, you're using Google. So to kind of wrap that up, I kind of want to hit on these points about how they're not necessary to find a good candidate. And I'll give you a couple of examples from what I've done so far. When I left Scientific Games finally, I got hired by a chemical detection company, chemical detection sensor company. And they hired me based on my experience and my ability to communicate. Thanks, Toastmasters. And I didn't do a code interview, but during my time there, I had successfully led the product development, and I even automated the manufacturing process so they could scale up their production. And by the time I left there, I left that place better than I found. And so now with my current company, I'm working for a data center company, and they hired me mainly because they like my personality, which is great. Because they don't appreciate how you do great, but it's one of the big deciding factors. I've been involved with the team, and during my time there so far, I ended up making a bunch of prototypes and putting it in somebody's hands instead of being a drawing in somebody's user chart or whatever. And I was able to do that. I did the work of the 2 engineers I replaced, and then they didn't do it in the 2 years they were working on the project. I did that in a few months. So that just goes to show that, you know, you don't have to judge somebody based on coding. But unfortunately, the reason why this speech kind of came about is because my time at the current company is it's coming to an end because they canceled the project that I was working on because they had done too much money into it before I got there. When I finally got from some other head, they realized, hey, we're not going to make our return on this from this. So they cut it. So my position is really limited. But luckily, I will be starting a new position at a company called Private Games, and I was hired by an old friend for North and Back in the Valley. And he pretty much just hired me on the spot because he knows my skills, knows my work ethic. And he agrees that coding interviews are always oh,
Nice job. Good job, everybody. I'm scrambling a little bit to catch up with stuff. Thank you. Some parts of the meeting I forgot. Gina, your timing, is that right?
Yes. I'm not sure how I did on my time. I think I made time. I did use the word. We had
Yeah, but
also,
Sorry.
I don't know if,
Table topics and say the timers report for table topics and then for the speech.
okay, so table topics, I think everybody qualified. I used the word, did you use the word, Lynn? I don't remember if I heard scramble. Okay, so Lynn qualified but didn't use the word, and then Scott, you qualified, and I don't know if you used the word. It's a little hard to hear from Zoom, but I did actually hear Chad use the word. So congrats. I think you're a little under your time. You were 3 minutes, 24 seconds. So I think maybe I showed my cell phone and you panicked a little too early if you could see me on the screen, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. And Omega's speech was 6 minutes and 41 seconds, so she was on time.
Excellent. Thank you, Gina. But this time, we'll introduce our general evaluator to give a brief high points and any suggestions for our meeting so far today. So welcome.
Yes, so far so good. We started close to on time, which is always very important. And the speeches have been super fun. I'd like to go ahead and get our evaluations moving by going ahead and calling Rick up so he can provide an evaluation for Chad. So please help me welcome Rick Shue, evaluating Chad.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Hello, Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, and especially Chad. Chad, I gave you some goals. You did great. And what I really liked about your speech today is you do have a comfort level. You have a comfort level. You gave the audience, the live audience, eye contact. I couldn't tell if you were looking at the screen too, but you were giving us eye contact, telling us your story. It tended a little bit to favor the left side. And I don't know if Pam, if you felt that you were a little left out, but regardless, it's always a good start. When you're doing a live speech, you want to make like, give you a little pointer, for something a little bit more advanced, is make eye contact individually, a couple of seconds, like you're having a little conversation. So talk about Charles Schwab service here with Omega. Talk about that with Chad, a little bit long. I'm sorry, Scott,
All right.
a little bit long down.
Okay.
So that engages them, they think, oh, he's talking to me.
Yeah.
So that was good. You also had good gestures, maybe a little bit too much, you gotta watch a little bit. If you do too much of it, it becomes distracting, and so maybe a little more selective when you want to do it. But those are good skills fundamentally to have. Your voice was good, projected very well. Now, with respect to the speech itself, I have a suggested organization, because you're gonna come back and do this.
Okay.
Okay, you had a great speech. What was it called again? Own Your Tomorrow. Okay, and have an introduction. You can even start it with a question. How many of you felt that you just didn't have control of what will happen? How many of you had that fear? You start that, get people's interest. Well, fellow Toastmasters, my name is Chad. Whatever your position is, and then go right into it.
Okay.
Now then have a body that has, usually it's a good thing to have a rule of 3 discrete points that you want to make. Charles Schwab is a discount broker. What does that mean to be a discount broker? It means A, B, C, D. And here's our range of services. Part 2 is the range of services of Charles Schwab, estate planning, blah, 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 blah. And then maybe go and talk about here at Schwab, we are looking at you holistically, and then tie it back into your title, which is a great title, and say, if you go through and you use our services, you can control your future. You won't have that here anymore. So I've given you the information, control your future. What are you waiting for? Something like that. That's your final sum. So again, you have an intro, 3 points, you have a closing statement to bring it up. And your closing, you said in conclusion, and then you started talking about the holistic nature. That was in your conclusion. You got to move that into the body. See?
Okay.
And just have it, as long as you have these little bits, you don't have to have notes or anything. You know the organization, you know this better than anyone else. And to me, speech organization is always, oh, Gina, I didn't see that time. Speech organization is always the most important part of speech. Good luck, and I want to hear it again.
Thank you for that. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick. It's rare when the evaluation goes longer than the speech.
You guys talk the timing rules.
Just love you, man. That was awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce myself. I am evaluating Omega and Omega's speech, debugging the coding interview, which honestly, not being a techie, I hear anything involving coding or Excel spreadsheet, my brain automatically shuts down. So I have to say, this was an excellent speech for me to have to evaluate, because I had to pay attention to everything and fight the urgency for my brain to shut down because you were talking about coding. But you did an excellent job. You kept me in line because you were super organized. I love the fact that you were so organized with it. You gave 3 great examples about why coding interviews are really ridiculous. I even wrote them down. We got not good representation of the job that you do. Totally get that. Unnecessarily hard. Totally get that. And access to tools to show how you can do the job. You can't do that during an interview, which totally makes sense. And then you went in and you provided detail on all of those 3 points, which is perfect. That is just Toastmasters like 201. You totally got this. It was really good. And you were extremely clean. I love how you spoke to the end. The yellow timer came on and you didn't flinch. You didn't speed up. You didn't slow down. You just kept right on cruising. That's like level 3 right there in my mind. So that was really good. when you go, my only recommendations, because when you talk about introvert, extrovert, we know we're talking, you're more the introvert, I'm more the extrovert, I'm struggling with the coding thing there. And so my suggestions would be more visual aid kind of thing, or taking a page out of Rick's book and maybe doing some audience engagement. You know, maybe quiz the audience a little bit and say, who here knows I'm talking about introverts? Or, you know, anybody have any experience with coding interviews that you know what I'm talking about? Or, you know, quizzing the audience in some way, or maybe even doing some big gestures to help emphasize the ridiculousness of having to do an interview with no tools, you know, something like that. Some sort of visual something or other, give it a little bit more punch. But fabulous job, you're a rock star. I look forward to hearing the next speech. Thank you.
Thanks, Christy.
So that concludes as general evaluator, that concludes my general evaluation. And if it's okay, I would like to go ahead and jump in because I also did the counter, which again, I'm also really very bad at this. I just have to acknowledge that. Rick, I hope you were kind of paying attention because honestly, you were doing it. Oh, that's even better. Because God, I thought I was a champion at ums, but Chad's in the running, man. This is awesome. Okay, so this was a great meeting. I really enjoyed it. So as general evaluator, I'm going to hand everything back to our fearless Toastmasters. Toastmaster, please help welcome back Lynn.
Thank you, Christy. You always do a great job. You always manage to add lots of people, which is great. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. We did Scramble. We put it together. This club is really good at that, guys. Sometimes we don't have people show up to do speeches, or our table topics person isn't here, and we are really good at putting together an impromptu meeting. We've all been doing it for a long time, especially during COVID and setting up laptops and wondering who's going to show up from which state. But we're very good at pulling together. Washington Zephyrs. So our Rick, the grammarian informed.
Yeah. Oh, I just go back up here. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. For our honorary report, we count ahs, ums, but we also count filler words, such as ands, so's, double starts are like you, or not. So for Gina, and there's a so for me, that's a filler word. So we try to eliminate that. And that's how you do it, is people will count and then you'll start thinking, as you say an like, did it again. Okay. Gina, I only counted one and one so, and a double start of not. She's very clear. Lynn, I only counted two ands. You were the Toastmaster. Now, caveat is sometimes I wasn't tracking everything, but you were probably the cleanest. Scott, very clean for table topics. You had two ahs and four so's. Chad, now Christy was right. You were the Wizard of Oz. That wasn't that many. There's only five that I counted. One and one so. Omega, you had three and ahs, one and four so's. You had a a lot of people will do the knows, including myself. Or like my daughter, you'll say blank all the time. Oh, I'll start counting that too. Christy, you didn't know what happened. The only thing I counted was two steps. In terms of language, that we're sometimes the grammarian will also write down really good use of language. I didn't do a very good job of doing that. I'm sure people did. All in all, very clean meeting in terms of us and so's and grammatical errors. Thank you. Where do you go?
Meg, would you like to take the meeting from this point? Or do you want me to just ask for the guest commentary? I'm really interested.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Go ahead.
Chad, since you were really great and gave the speech today, give us some feedback. What do you think about Toastmasters for your first? This is the first time you've ever attended any.
Yeah, Yeah, first time I've ever been in any kind of Toastmasters event, but I thought it was great. I definitely am going to be a little bit more proactive in paying attention to the filler words that I use. I really appreciate the constructive feedback as always. Always looking to get better, you know, for my speeches. I put on plenty of seminars here in the office, so I do like to always do a good job for improving myself. So I do appreciate you guys yeah, let me stop in, and I think it's great. Very, very helpful. Yes.
Gina, I'll beat you to it. Would you like to have a membership application?
Oh, me? I mean, I don't know, I guess, yeah.
We'll send you an application, but you can be a guest as many times.
I was gonna say, if you guys are here in the office, I work right in here, so.
We're usually in the big room.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, it is awesome. I know we had Michaela, so Michaela's one of our managers here, wanted a handful of us to be in. I don't know if there's like one of us for each meeting, or if she meant like a couple of us or whatnot. I'll talk to her and find out. Yeah, I will, certainly. Yeah, I will.
Being
Absolutely.
able to be a good public speaker is such an important professional development tool. So, yeah.
Mhm.
It's so important. Next is Scott. Scott, would you like to say a few words or give us some feedback about our meeting?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, yeah,
Get used to it. Get used to it.
this is my second Toastmaster meeting, and I like this one more. Not just because the food isn't terrible. No, it's really good. So I practiced as an attorney for a few years, and now I work, and my area of law was very specific. I was an estate planning attorney, and that way I never had to talk to anyone. I just drafted all day, every day. So now I work for a trust company, and I have to present to our trust committee every 2 weeks. And I realized I've avoided this my whole life. So I think this will be really good for me, and yeah, just appreciate that I can be here.
Thank you so much. Which trust company are you working for?
So we're new in Nevada. It's a California company. It's called San Pasquale.
Stanford Squad.
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
They got charted in February, February of last year, and I joined them in June.
Yeah, a couple of other lawyers. in here.
Oh, okay.
I'm a lawyer, a mediator.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is ridiculously emotional.
We do a lot of stuff like that.
All right, well, thank you so much. And Bill, would you like to add a few words? Our guest today, thank you for telling us about our contest coming up at UNR on March 18th.
Thank you. One of the things, Gina told me you were going to be doing by selection. Gina, what do you have the names of people who are going to be selected?
Not yet. I think we will probably within the next 2 meetings or so have meetings that aren't quite full contests, but ones that are geared towards helping us select the people who want to represent us for evaluation contest and international speech contest.
Yeah, I was going to recommend, and again, remember you can have 2 candidates. I was going to recommend, even though you do selection, that you have them practice at a meeting in February so that they don't go into the area contest cold. They get a chance to practice. And Scott, this is a great club for you to join. You said you visited a club in Denny's and they said they were the oldest club. They gave you incorrect information. The oldest club is Truckee Meadows. Look at the club numbers. Truckee Meadows club number is 178. So it's definitely the oldest club in Reno area. But this is a wonderful club. And that one's not a bad club either. It's one of the clubs that's in my area. It's just, you don't always get all the right information.
I quickly turn the meeting back over to our president, to Omega, I'm sorry. We've got about 5 minutes. And then we'll talk to Scott about getting him an application as well.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Liz.
coming, and, everybody, this club used to be full of lawyers, so. It was very intimidating, because I joined this club because I didn't know how to speak at all. And, I think this is a great place to be, so. Thank you for coming, so we hope to see you then. And I don't know if we have any more, well, Chad had to leave, but what I wanted to tell Chad is that this is a good, safe place if you have any investigations to practice your speech. And I fortunately don't have to talk about people because I'm still in a pretty introverted position, but it's really good to know that when you say the awesome, now you're aware of it. It's very, I don't know how a good word to explain it, but it's enlightening to know that when you speak, you sound that way when somebody's listening to you, and then you recognize it and then don't get annoying and say, you're saying down here, this person needs that.
Well, it's just learning the rules of speaking, there are tools.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
learn.
But this pretty much concludes our meeting. I don't know if we have any more business to talk about, other than we'll talk about contests at the next meeting, or we'll figure that out. So if anybody has anything else, you can officially join the meeting.
And we meet every second and fourth Tuesday.
Thursday.
It is Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, yeah.
Charles Schwab is awesome. I think he's very good, so.
And the attorneys are not the best speakers in these contests.
Yeah, that's why I think it's every
Sorry, we skipped over you, Nicole. We,
Oh, sorry, Nicole. I've never heard her.
She came in and then she didn't.
did your volume ever work? Can you say
No.
something just to see if it was a technical issue?
Yeah, can they tell you what?
Yeah.
We can't hear you speaking, so it must be a technical issue. Sorry about that, Nicole. We kind of stole your thunder with the PMA, but we'll figure out whatever technical thing is going on, because I still can't hear you if you're talking.
Master, so I knew it would be over.
Oh, God.
All right, take care, everybody.
All right, bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
You guys have a great week.